A Ukrainian MiG-29 likely destroyed a Russian crossing in the occupied part of the Zaporizhzhia region with 2 precise airstrike bombs, according to Militarnyi. The strike was reportedly carried out by a MiG-29 fighter jet armed with 2 American GBU-62 bombs equipped with JDAM-ER precision guidance and extended range kits. These strikes became possible thanks to the systematic destruction of Russian air defense systems, including Bucha missile systems, by Ukrainian defenders. The released video captures the moment air-dropped bombs struck a temporary crossing built at the site of a destroyed road bridge. The structure was of key logistical importance to the enemy. Due to the area's terrain, it was the only bridge on the only passable paved road supplying the Russian forces, which had intensified their offensive near Kamianske since late June. Over approximately 3 weeks of fighting, Russian forces managed to push Ukrainian units out of some positions beyond the Yanchekrak River. They also crossed the dried-out reservoir, which had been drained following the destruction of the Kharkiv hydroelectric power plant, and captured parts of the village of Kamianske, as well as the nearby village of Stepov and Lobkov. JDAM, or Joint Direct Attack Munition, is a kit that transforms conventional free-fall bombs into precision-guided, all-weather munitions with GPS-based navigation. The system includes an inertial navigation unit and a GPS receiver to ensure strike accuracy, as well as a tall section with steerable fins that allow the bomb to adjust its flight path towards the target. This section also houses the navigation and other technical components. The ER, or extended range version, is equipped with a foldable wing kit that enables the bomb to glide toward its target, significantly increasing its range. When launched from high altitude, the JDAM-ER can strike targets up to 72.4 kilometers away. Recently, Ukrainian forces from the 66th Mechanized Brigade, Prince Mstislav the Brave, destroyed a rare Russian engineering vehicle used to deploy temporary roadways, marking the first confirmed loss of such equipment since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. According to the unit, the Russian road deployment complex was struck by FPV drones as it attempted to assist in building a river crossing over the Chorny Zerebets in the east of Ukraine. The vehicle was part of the temporary road deployment complex, a specialized Russian military system adopted in 2018 to allow rapid passage of heavy machinery over rough or marshy terrain. The destroyed unit blocked the crossing point entirely, preventing Russian armored vehicles from launching an assault in that sector of the front. Police Colonel Maxim Kazban, who heads the Lyut Brigade of Ukraine, emphasized that behind all successes of the Russian armed forces on the battlefield are the numerical superiority of the enemy and the command's disregard for the lives of its soldiers. The Ukrainian armed forces value the lives of their soldiers, and when they see that there is no particular need to fight for an unsuitable position, they retreat, reports the Ukrinform resource. The enemy is trying with all its might to capture any position in order to then report to the Russian Ministry of Defense about its progress. With such command, the motivation of enemy soldiers is zero. However, even in this case, the higher command has something to motivate the soldier with. If you go back, retreat, Putin's soldier will face physical violence. The motivation is fear and cries of "forward, we are winning." The principle of command in the Russian armed forces is based on deception and fear. Often, commanders of the Russian armed forces say that there are already their own ahead and they are waiting for reinforcements. But in fact, there is no one there, and Putin's soldiers are simply going to the slaughter. At the same time, do not underestimate the enemy. He is developing, learning from mistakes, looking for new ways of attack. The roots of Russian military brutality run deep. During World War II, the Red Army earned a reputation for its harsh treatment of both enemies and civilians. As Soviet soldiers advanced through Eastern Europe, they left a trail of destruction, including widespread rape and looting. Nor is brutality in the Russian military confined to the battlefield. It is also deeply ingrained in its internal culture, particularly through the practice of dedovshchina, the institutionalized hazing and bullying of young recruits. Russia's horrific casualties in its invasion of Ukraine, now estimated to have surpassed the combined total from all of Moscow's wars since 1945, have put its infamous meat grinder tactics in the spotlight. Ukrainian soldiers have described waves of poorly armed, ill-prepared Russian troops thrown into battle as cannon fodder, leading to extreme rates of death and injury among the invaders. At the same time, Russian soldiers have themselves engaged in extreme violence, not only against Ukrainian civilians and prisoners of war, but also against each other. Why are Russian troops, who are treated by their commanders as disposable infantry, willing to put up with and engage in such widespread brutality with so little protest? Foreign policy media outlet says that fratricidal coercion, violence within units, and mistreatment among soldiers are not unique to the Russian military, but they have seldom been seen on this scale in recent decades. And while soldiers throughout history have resisted orders, most famously, US soldiers engaged in so-called fragging against their officers during the Vietnam War, this sort of defiance is largely absent among Russian troops. The ongoing invasion of Ukraine, uniquely documented through widespread online coverage, reveals how an ingrained culture of violence in the Russian military fuels a brutal cycle of coercion and complicity. But astonishing death rates and brutal abuse have not kept troops from following orders in the Russian army.